Bobo C-Type Ears here with round 2 of a Modern League using Black-White Soul Sisters. This is a very strong hand. We love the path, we love the sister into Pridemate, into Hawks. We love a lot about this hand on the play, which we are. It's worse on the draw because of the Windbrisk Heights, but still very keepable. We keep this hand 100 out of 100 times. We'll start with the Windbrisk Heights, see what's underneath. Opponent reads. Not what we want to be putting underneath a Windbrisk Heights. That's a pretty major whiff from the Windbrisk Heights. Opponent starts with the Forest and an Elvish Mystic, so we're up against Elves. Not an ideal matchup for Soul Sisters. Usually very fun, though. Usually a very fun matchup, and we are able to get a sister out before they start puking Elves onto the battlefield. So we will gain some life, we'll have some Pridemate, and we have a path to answer Azuri or anything else they do. We'll hit another Windbrisk Heights here, which is fine. Hopefully something better goes underneath this one. That's tough. All of these are great hits. I think we maximize our... This is tough. I think we maximize our ability to go over here with the Spectral Procession. But there's an argument for the Sorin as well. Let's go over with the Spectral Procession. It is going to cost us just as much with this hand, and we like being able to cast creatures at instant speed. It won't impact the board very much to cast a Spectral Procession. To cast a Sorin in this current setup, but I think the Spectral Procession does really good work here. They play an Elvish Mystic. And Elves of Deep Shadow comes down. So they have a lot of mana elves, but a slower start, all things considered, I think, for them. I think they're not super ecstatic about that start. We will play the Swamp now, and the Pridemate, holding up Path to Exile. We will not attack, we'll just pass right after they let this resolve. Having a 3/3 Pridemate before they've really started getting all their elves on the battlefield is really good. We're very happy so far with that. They get the Gilt-Leaf Palace. And they reveal an Archdruid to us. They play the Archdruid right away, triggering our sister, triggering our Pridemate. So far, nothing to be afraid of. We won't take away their mana. We will take away their Azuri if they're able to get it down. Another Llanowar Elves comes down, making our Pridemate very big. They cannot attack. Lingering Souls. I think, again, we maximize our mana here. And what I love about this Lingering Souls right here is if we really need to, we can path one so that we cast Archangel next turn. If we really choose to go that route. Get in for 7 here. They have to give us one of their dorks or take a very big punch. 5 mana. So they fire off Archdruid early here. Clan Caller. Firmly in go wide mode here. Coco. Lot of triggers off the Dwynen's Elite, giving us lots of life here. Lots of life, very big Pridemate. Sometimes the deck wants to run Brave the Elements. Brave the Elements would allow us to just win here for the most part, because we would cast an Ajani's Pridemate and get past all their creatures. They can come in for a lot here. They can come in for 12. Our goal here is to get down an Archangel of Thune and try to get bigger. They're taking a long time to decide their attack. This is a very important attack for them, I feel like. So I don't mind that they're taking some extra time to think it through. Take your time with it. Make the right decision here is the right call for our opponent. That's a lesson I need to learn a lot more. I rush into the decision and say, it's fine. They're taking their time here to decide what to do. So that is their attack. We do just let it in. We don't really have much of a choice but to let it in. We could have, in theory, blocked with a spirit and then passed the spirit and then stayed at 23. But we want to have as many creatures as possible for when Archangel comes down. We do get our 5th land for the Archangel. So they can come at us with a lot here next turn. Everything they have is bigger than what we have. So 8, 12, 16, 20, 26, 30, 35. We can block 5 of that with Pridemate. And then another 4 of it with another 8 of it, so that's 13. Plus the life gain from Archangel, so we should be safe. Unless they get a Lord here. They are able to get a Lord here, we're in trouble. But next turn we can gain a bunch of life and cast a Spectral Procession, which we really like. If they cast a creature, they're making all of our creatures bigger. And we'll pass here. The only thing we're dead to is an Azuri. Even then. No, we are actually very dead to an Azuri. So we're a little worried about this game 1. We obviously get a lot better in game 2 and 3 with our sideboard cards. Our ability to play Worship and just never have to block is very, very good for us. Because in most cases, these decks will not run removal. Maybe an Assassin's Trophy out of the board. I don't think I've ever been pushed by one of these decks in terms of Fatal Push, but even then, if we can just generate 3 creatures, 4 creatures, 5 creatures in a Worship, we can go pretty far. Like this board state with Worship is just fine. So we have Pridemate to block, We have Archangel to block and gain life. So Archangel basically neutralizes 2 creatures. Spirits can neutralize 2 more creatures. And then we should be safe here, with the opportunity to potentially get them on the crackback by casting Squadron Hawk into Spectral Procession. Actually, what we would probably end up doing next turn is attack for 3, cast Soul's Attendant, cast Spectral, get there. We would have to Ghost Quarter a land to do that, but we would do that happily for the most part. This is going to hurt if they cast that ETB Elf, and they do. That hurts really badly. But we are able to get some life back from that. That's going to hit us pretty significantly, though. We're down to 10, so we might not be able to survive anymore, unfortunately. Let's see. So they've got 20, 26, 30, 35 coming at us. We block a 5/5, it goes down to 30. The math is interesting here. The math is very interesting here. They're entirely tapped out, so they don't have any tricks. We may still just be dead. I have to do the math here. So Pridemate takes 5. Archangel blocks 4. Spirits each block 4. And then that leaves... So that leaves... Let's see what we can do here. We block here. If we stay alive, we've got him. If we stay alive, we've got him because of the path. So we just have to focus on staying alive right now. So that there, and that would allow 6 and 10 exactly to come in, but we gain life. Am I right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 exactly comes in. They can't have any combat tricks. So by the 10 exactly comes in. That's 3, 6, 10, 14. 14 exactly comes in. But the life gain puts us to 1. I mean, we're dead to a gut shot, I guess. So the play becomes then to make sure we don't die here. I can't imagine a combat trick, but it doesn't really matter because we killed him with Pridemate next turn. So we're fine. Better safe than sorry here. And Pridemate and Archangel just get big. I think they realize what they've done now. So we path the Shaman of the pack, get in for lethal. And they concede to that, so we are able to steal game 1 because they miss essentially a turn, leaving us at enough life to get the win through some combat trickery. Very happy about how that one went. And we get better in the board. So we bring in the worships, bring in the Runed Halos. We don't really have any way to kill their creatures, so Extirpate doesn't matter. Rest in Peace is irrelevant. There's an argument for the Anguished Unmaking, but I think we are happy with what we have. And we will go light here. I think we cut a Sorin. It seems not very good here. I think we just cut all the Sorins in an Archangel. Honor the Pure is not great, whereas Archangel just wins the game. Let's leave Archangel in and cut an Honor of the Pure. And that is fine. We have no issue with that. They are pretty fast, so being on the draw does present some difficulties in terms of what we can keep. But we love being able to bring in the worships. We love, love, love the worships here. And we, wow, okay. We out here all day, every day? It's a little slow, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little slow, but our top decks could be quite incredible. If that's a Lingering Souls instead of a Spectral, the hand gets much better. This is tough. They do have some enchantment hate, so we don't want to be dead. Let's mulligan in and see a better hand. Hand is just as good, plus we get to see what's on top. We'll draw that. Yeah. No, we'll bottom that. 3 lands should be enough. We want to be able to draw, play our Soul Warden very quickly here. We need to gain some life to get some security, essentially. So we will actually fetch a basic here, since we have the Godless Shrine. We don't want to have to take 2 when we only have to take 1. And play a Warden. Our opponent is reading the card, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember what sister we had down, and it's an older border card. Typically an Elves player, could be a new player, so we don't know. Them being stuck on land would be perfectly fine with us. Guiltleaf Palace showing us what? Guiltleaf Palace to show us a Elvish, to show us the Azuri, and which they cast right away. We're fine with that. We'll get in for 1 off of that for sure. We will definitely cast the Godless Shrine and then path that. Don't want to have any issues with that. We actually won't get in for 1 here. We'll path it when they untap. Kendall Haven is a good card in the Elves deck. We'll path the Azuri off of that. They're down to 3 cards in hand, and we are 1 mana away from the worship. We'd love to draw mana and then spirit tokens here and really be able to just get there. We have to be careful with our attacking now because of the Pendelhaven. Their ability to like turn that token into a 2/3 could just mess up combat math really badly. Honestly, you don't want to attack against this deck with anything but a Pridemate in most circumstances. They'll get in for 1 now that they have enough mana where the Mystic doesn't matter. And they'll play another land on Elves and just give us back the 1 life we just lost. Seems fine. 2 cards left in hand for our opponent. We will play the Marsh Flats. Unfortunately, there's nothing for us to Runed Halo here. So all we can really do is play Honor of the Pure. And pass. We do get the Worship next turn. If one of their 3 cards is an enchantment hate card, we do get smacked around a little bit though. They choose to not attack, which we're fine with. I feel like you definitely jump in there. No, I guess not. I guess not. Elvish Mystic. They have a lot of mana for when they hit that second Azuri. We'll fetch here and play a Worship next turn. Godless Shrine tapped. Squadron Hawk is a card. Squadron Hawk with Worship is exactly the type of shenanigans you want. They're down to 1 card, so if they don't have the enchantment removal, we're in really good shape. If they do have the enchantment removal, they don't really have enough ground troops to kill us here. Down to 16. Elves of Deep Shadow gets us back up to 17. And now we just wait to cast the Archangel of Thune. Bunch of Squadron Hawks will help us with the Worship. We want to bluff having stuff, so we won't play a second Squadron Hawk here. Our opponent's down to 11 minutes, so even if they find a way to get here game 2, we're in really good shape for game 3. Taking our dear sweet time here with the chess clock. We'll get all the Squadron Hawks here. Squadron Hawk has been, so far, it's either Thune or Squadron Hawk is the MVP of what we're doing here. Squadron Hawk has really came to shine in game 1 against Dredge, and now Squadron Hawk paired with Worship ends up being very, very good. Clan Caller is annoying. They have enough mana to just fetch infinite Clan Callers here. So I think now we point the Runed Halo at Clan Caller, maybe? Not great. Suboptimal at best. Their Pendelhaven is now useless, though. So we do have that going for us. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13 damage coming in. Can we get a land here? Another Honor of the Pure is fine. That allows us to start dealing damage. And killing their creatures. There's some definite upside there. Not really much we can do here other than cast the second Honor of the Pure. No use bluffing now. We'll get in for 3 here. They can't Coco. They can't Coco. So we'll get in for 3 here. Have no reason to block next turn. They buff Clanecaller. And they'll go for attacks again. I guess if they have the enchantment hate, we're dead. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. We'd be dead even if we didn't attack with the Soul Warden. Let's see if they're bluffing. They can't do Clanecaller. They can do, I guess, they either have it or they don't. So let's see if they have it. They do not have it. Yeah, no use risking losing the Squadron Hawks at that point. A land here is massive. Making everything a 4/4 would be really great. Another Thune. We'll cast Squadron Hawk, get back up to 2 life. For as consistent as the deck is, it runs a lot of stuff that can kind of hurt the consistency. Cast. It's just such a waste of a Rune Halo, I guess. But no, let's bluff. Next turn, we can't survive now if they ever draw the enchantment hate. So let's just, we'll leave that back and start clocking them. If they draw the enchantment hate, we're dead. But if we don't, they're dead next. If they don't draw the enchantment hate next turn, they're dead next turn, for the most part. They draw the enchantment hate, so we are dead. Not the way we want to go, per se. Seems like a waste, but okay. Not the way we wanted that one to wrap up. I don't know, the Pier ended up being good. Sorin is still feels mediocre. Yeah, I like this just the way it is. We want a fast hand here. Worship is fine. Worship is fine.
I'm not huge on the Runed Halos now that I look at them. But I don't think it's really worth it to bring in anything except for maybe the Sorins.
I don't know. Let me know what you think about taking out the Runed Halos for the Sorins. This is a 1-land hand, but it's strong. I don't think we can risk it, especially with the Windbrisk Heights being the only land. That hand is functionally the same with Marsh Sisters, so we've got that going for us. We will bottom that Thune, and we will have to take damage to cast this, but that's okay. We'll get a Soul Warden down quickly. If we draw another land next turn, we have a very quick Pridemate and a very big Pridemate. I'm perfectly content drawing nothing but lands and Path to Exiles for the rest of the game. We get one of the lives back. They have the more combo-focused version of the opener here. Top decking a path here would be fine. That is better. Being able to put pressure from Pridemate on ends up being very strong here. Can we draw a land next turn to go Sister Hawk slam in for 5? Cavern on Elf. Another Heritage Druid. Makes our Pridemate big. And a Llanowar Elves. 3 mana available to them at this point. They use it to cast Archdruid. Down to 3 cards in hand. Nothing right now scaring us in terms of mana. Love that Worship. Love that Worship if we can cast it, I should say. Get in for 7 here. Put them on the deep back foot a little bit. 24 to 13 are the life totals. Rising Canopy. To draw a card. So they're looking for Azuri here. Azuri is how they get us. We are looking for land. Is our best play right now. Getting stuck on 2 land and losing because of that would hurt pretty badly. They tap. Another Heritage Druid. Fine by us so far. Always yes. And Pridemate will be a 9/9 now. If they can't find anything to do with all this mana, we're in really good shape. If they find something to do with all this mana, we struggle here. If you're not, yeah, get in for 8 for sure. A path here is almost lethal. Ghost Quarter works for us. That gets us that much closer to the worship. Play a Squadron Hawk and have a 10 mana, 10/10 threat. Be up to 19. They'll be at the point where they can play Azuri, activate Azuri here. But if they play Azuri, activate Azuri, that puts them to how much mana and how many creatures? We're at 20. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 5 elves, so 11 mana potentially. If every elf they play can generate more, I don't think they can do it yet. So we'll just send an attacker, see if they give us the Heritage Druid. They do. So that's okay. That's one less thing they can cast, one less thing they can attack us with. So they have a land, choose elf, of course. They don't cast anything. They just come in for 8 again. They can't Coco, so they can't really do anything at instant speed here. I think we forced them to have something here and get them off of a lot of mana. And we will 2 for 1 their Archdruid here. If they cast another Archdruid, I'm gonna feel real salty. They hold back. Yeah, they have to cast something, otherwise they're dead. If we draw a path, they're dead. Nope, they'll cast another thing. Another Archangel isn't super great. Really no reason to attack here. They draw a land, 1 card still in hand. Feel free to come at me. We're going to take away their ability to generate mana. Here is our goal. We don't want to deal with Heritage Druids. They buff for some damage. Okay. We're down to 12. Life total doesn't really matter right now. There's a Rex Sage? That's wasteful. That is wasteful. Oh, wow. What a waste. What a waste. That is a massive misplay by our opponent. That is a massive, massive misplay by our opponent. Unless they have a way to bounce it, that is bad. Oh man, I feel bad for him, but I don't know why you make that play. I really don't. We'll put another Thune under there. Why not? We're going to be casting nothing but Thunes next turn, so. The rest of the game is all about Thune. And this one's over. It's a sincere misplay on our opponent's part, but I don't think it would have mattered because we were still getting the Thune one way or the other. There was nothing they could do to stop us from getting Archangel of Thune. That gives us a life. Makes everything bigger. At this point, our opponent's very dead and they concede. Yeah, I don't think the Rex Sage really stops us from doing what we need to do there. Ends up being a great 2-1 win for us against a deck that can get us. That deck can be too fast for us sometimes. So we're 2-0 in this league with a very traditional Soul Sisters build. See you in the next one. Let's see if we can keep the train alive.